Hey, this is James with My Take on Reality. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the 90-Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, Season 5, Episode 11, Mike and Ximena. I'm going to call this episode The Booby Trap Chronicles. Ximena is continuing to push her American boyfriend to pay for her plastic surgery. This includes a boob job, liposuction, but we all know how this goes. Once you pop, you can't stop. She's going to end up with the witness protection special. So much plastic surgery where she's unrecognizable to anybody who's been following the show, her parents, or anybody she might have snitched on. The whole episode, it looks like she could care less about being with Mike. Their slots consisted of 2 scenes: shopping for a wedding dress and in her bedroom later that week. While they're riding to the bridal shop, Ximena is clearly annoyed with Mike. She says, quote, "He's been interrogating me because I stayed out last night." In Season 5, Episode 10, Mike arrived in Colombia, and on his first night in town, she told him she was going out to the club for a little bit. Mike, not understanding the situation, invited himself to her night out. They went out. Mike, having traveled 12 hours, was tired, of course, and wanted to go home. She sent him home alone in the cab and stayed at the club for the rest of the night. The next morning, Mike asked what time did she get in last night. Ximena informed him 9:30 a.m. On their way to the bridal shop, Ximena thinks it's strange that Mike wants to go wedding shopping. It is a little weird, except the whole reason he's back in Colombia so soon is because Ximena is acting distant. Before he arrived, she told him not to come unless he gives her $5,000 for breast surgery. With this sudden preoccupation for boob jobs and money, it makes sense that he wants to check to see if she's actually buying a dress. Mike also has the delusion that if Ximena sees herself in a wedding dress, she will become excited about the relationship again. As a general rule, marriage, babies, and sex does not fix a relationship. Any and all of these things done for the wrong reasons can more often than not destroy a relationship. The entire time during the ride, she's sitting on the other side of the car like she's ride-sharing with a stranger. Ximena claims she's not happy with Mike, which is easy to see because every time she looks at him, it's like she took a big bite out of a dirty diaper. While in the store, Ximena demands the money for her plastic surgery. She asks, "Why are you willing to pay for a dress, but you don't want to give me the money for my operation?" Because the wedding dress is a step forward in your relationship. At this point, Mike pretends like he doesn't understand. Ximena tells him once she gets the operation, she can work as a model. Who told you that? Not trying to throw shade on her at all, but she said it a few times. However, it doesn't sound like she's working on advice from a working model, an agency, or a prospective job. This sounds more like a hunch. If I get this done, I could work as a model. In a way, this is very disrespectful because it's like me saying, if I got a pair of Air Jordans, I could beat LeBron James in basketball. In this scenario, it disregards talent, ability, and most importantly, hard work and dedication. She could no more buy her way into a modeling contract than I could buy my way into the NBA because I bought a pair of sneakers. I'm out. As a recap from last episode, we learned that Ximena scheduled the surgery and borrowed the money from a loan shark. Because Mike came into town, she had to cancel it. The fact that she did all this without Mike's knowledge tells me she's betting everything that Mike will pay. This is next level confidence. It's at this point she tells Mike she wants to get operated on the day after he leaves to go home. So she has to have the money by the end of the week. She is playing this guy so hard it's ridiculous. Ximena did the most obnoxious thing I've ever seen on a 90-day episode. She gave Mike an ultimatum. Get my boobs done or there will be no wedding. No boobs, no wedding, no problem. See, Mike thinks that Ximena should use the money for their future together. And what future is that, Mike? The only future you have with her is giving her a bunch of money, she takes it, then she eventually leaves you. See, this reminds me, when someone is asking you for something, whether it's to borrow money, a favor, a gift, whatever, they're always nice when they ask for it. Hey man, can I borrow $500 to pay my rent? I really need it. Usually while you're giving it to them, they're super appreciative. Oh man, you saved my life. You're the best friend ever. Actually, like a brother. Blah, 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 blah. Now, of course, some people are skip-scop scandalous scallywags who show out when it comes time to pay. Hey, buddy, do you think you could give me back that $500 I lent you?
Man, how you gonna come at me over a little funky $500? You better get out my face. Bother me about some chump change.
Funny how it's never chump change when you needed it, huh? But in this case, Ximena is already starting off nasty. By the end of the episode, Ximena, Mike, and the kids are in her bedroom. Mike asks the kids, are they ready for bedtime? We all know what that means. All right, kiddies, me and your mama gotta have some grown-up alone time. Of course Mike wants to be alone. He traveled 1,000 miles to slap some cheeks. It was at this moment that Ximena informs Mike that he will be sleeping in the kids' room and she will be sleeping in her room with the kids. Now, Mike tells producers that since he's been in Colombia, the kids have slept in a bed with them and they have yet to be intimate. Now, she's kicking him out of the bed entirely. Excuse me? While trying to explain why she doesn't want to sleep with Mike, she tries the whole, it's not you, it's me routine. But she couldn't do it. She came right out and said, it's not me, it's you. You're weird. If we pretend for a moment that she's not using Mike for his money, is it weird that he expects her to be excited to see him? That she should want to spend the first night with him at least instead of going out to the club? Is it weird that he feels insulted that she stayed out all night until mid-morning the next day, especially since their time together is limited? Frankly, I don't know anybody who would put up with that, even if they lived together for years, much less traveled 1,000 miles to see each other. To be fair, she did make two good points. Mike has a habit of saying, I love you every few minutes. I think that's mostly because the only Spanish he feels comfortable with is, I love you. Second, Mike isn't his own man. Ironically, if he was his own man, he would have dumped her a long time ago. This is kind of a blessing and a curse type scenario. By the end of her little confessional, she couldn't help but to reveal herself by saying, quote, he's refusing to help me with my surgery, which is the most important thing for me right now. I can't ignore these things anymore. End quote. It's at this point Mike does the second thing that I agree with Ximena about, not being his own man. He apologizes. Dude, how are you going to apologize for not letting her take advantage of you just this once? After all, you're already paying her rent, bought her furniture, her appliances, food, and most likely, you're giving her additional pocket money. Now that you won't kick up $5,000 for plastic surgery, she's withholding affection, companionship, and even a simple smile. She tells him that she doesn't want to get married and wants time and space. Mike says he loves her and wants to spend his life with her. He then asks, do you love me? She then responds, no, I'm not in love with you. As cold and as casual as you can be. See, and a guy like me, I would have given her all the time she could handle. You say goodnight, go into the next room. Mike, yeah, he's going to cry, but just put it in a pillow. Yeah, he's going to be doing one of those. Then the next morning, you get up, you go to the hotel and to your flight. Now, a rookie mistake is to threaten her with everything that you're paying for. At that point, you're no better than she is. Just go home and learn from this experience. Accept the fact that you got played and move on. The best revenge is living well. There's nothing he's going to say that's going to hurt her feelings because she doesn't feel anything for him. Overall, Mike claims that between the two trips, she seems like a different person. No, Mike, she's the same person. You're just getting to see what the rest of us have known for a while.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCA.